Yes, all right. Welcome back to Kosi's Arsenal podcast. My name is Kosi, and in this video, we are going to be discussing some of the transfer news and news updates actually around Arsenal. Basically, what is happening around the club on this. Is it 10th? Yeah, it is 10th day of March 2021. Hello, everybody. How are you guys doing? Let us just, move through some of the stories. Yesterday I didn't do a breaking news show, so probably I skipped so many things. Bukayo Saka's award and a couple of other things, but I know we shall be able to catch up there slowly by slowly. Starting with some of the stories, Bukayo Saka being awarded as Player of February, Player of the Month. Again, it's another word for him, another youngster. I think he has won these 3 months in a row now. Player of December, Player of January, and Player of Feb, and I think he deserves it. I don't think there has been another player who's been better than him in those 3 months. Ever since December last year, January this year, and February this year. Uh, I do appreciate players like Granit Xhaka. They have been putting in consistent performances. Of course, I do think about Xhaka as well because I think what Xhaka has given us is that little bit of consistency in the midfield that players like Ceballos and Partey have failed to give us. Because I think he's been there. He's played almost all the games, and that's what I said yesterday when I was doing my problem with Granit Xhaka, that I might have a problem. He might have his problems. Probably he's not good enough, and for me I think he's not good enough. But he's been that consistent this season. He's been there for us. He's been there for Mikel Arteta, and I think he deserves some credit. But apart from Granit Xhaka, I don't think there is any other player. Maybe Leno, but I don't think there is any other player who's been that consistent, that qualitative when it comes to the performances like Bukayo Saka. So he gets that award, and I really, really rated it so highly. He went to his Twitter and did thank the fans. So if you want to know more about his reaction on that award, please go to his Twitter account. He did actually talk about that. Now, Arsenal is linked with three players, and I'm going to be discussing much more about that. But first and foremost, Alexander Lacazette's agent is working on his exit. That is according to Football.London, and they are saying that actually if Alexander Lacazette is to leave Arsenal, he wants to go to a club where he is taking the leading role. Now, this is a little bit surprising for me because I thought he would go to a club like Atletico Madrid, but of course Atletico Madrid have Luis Suarez. They might not give you that leading role. Juventus have Morata. I don't know if they will give him that lead role. Clubs like Barcelona is also interested. Okay, the rumors say that Barcelona is interested. I don't know how true that is, but if he goes to Barcelona, and players like Dembele and Griezmann are there, he's never going to get that lead role. But according to his agent, they want a club where he's going to become the big star, where they want a club that's going to give him the lead role. That club that's going to front him in every game as their striker. And if I think about it, I would still think about clubs like Atletico Madrid, because then if you want to think about clubs like Monaco, then I think Lacazette is getting it wrong. If you go to a club like Atletico Madrid, maybe be a second to Luis Suarez for one season, or try to compete with the likes of Joao Felix. I think that makes sense. But if you want to be a lead man and then you go to a club like Monaco, then I think his career is a little bit done and finished. And one of the problems I think they're having in negotiations with Arsenal is he doesn't want to reduce his pay, and Arsenal would want him to stay, but they want him to reduce his pay. But anyway, that story is there according to Football.London, and London are saying that Arsenal is considering going for Jordan Amavi from Olympique Marseille. We know about Jordan Amavi. He's been linked with Arsenal before. He's been linked with a couple of clubs in London, as well as in Manchester, and he is one of the experienced left backs. Of course, we want him as a backup option to Kian Tierney in our left back position, because already, like I said, Tierney is there. You can't, Arsenal cannot, afford to think about, replacing Kian Tierney with anyone else in that defense. And I think anyone who comes in is going to come in as a backup player, as a backup left back. So we're looking at Jordan Amavi this summer. and Arsenal is considering to go for such a deal if everything goes according to plan. So let us wait and see. Of course, reports do have it that Edu is working on a couple of deals. So let us hope a backup left back is one of the deals we are working on. Now, the last two stories are what is very important or very key in this in this video, and we are linked with two Real Sociedad players. One is Mikel Moreno and the other is Mikel OYAZARBAL. Now, these two, according to Football in London, could actually take around 80 to 90 million pounds if Arsenal is going to sign them. They're coming from Real Sociedad. Mikel Arteta is a big fan, that is according to reports, and Edu is also interested. But of course, we are linked with so many players, they're in, and I don't think really. We are going to chase all these signings and stories all summer. Some of them will have to drop off, and others will actually have to continue. I don't know how much we might pursue, but I think we might pursue some 2-3 transfer signings in the summer. Not so much of I don't expect Arsenal to to sign 10 players like we've been linked with. But according to Football Analysts, they're saying that one of the latest transfer claims has involved Real Sociedad star winger Mikel OYAZARBAL and teammate Mikel Moreno, the latter being a former Newcastle midfielder. The claim suggests that Ghana's technical Edu has been in touch with agents over the pair ahead of a proposed move. The problem is that the proposed double deal is that OYAZARBAL has a release clause of 65 million and Moreno is worth 51 million. That's already close to 110 million with the players under contract at La Real until 2024 and 2025 respectively. I do understand that we need a winger. We need also a midfielder, because I think if you look at Pepe and what he provides, and if you were to sell Pepe and bring in a player like maybe Mikel OYAZARBAL, or bring in any other option, because I'm not sure if Mikel OYAZARBAL is better than Pepe, but I would want to try something else. I would want to see Arsenal getting that charismatic player, that charismatic winger that can take on players and do things on his own. But I don't see us sign a 65 million player. And what is interesting about the La Liga is if you're signing a player who has a release clause, it is not, in most cases, it is non-negotiable. And you remember how we struggled with Thomas Partey because we wanted a price cut, but it was never going to come, and finally we had to trigger the release clause. I don't see Arsenal spend 110 million on that pair. The other, Mikel Moreno, who is a 51 million midfielder, is another deal that I don't see Arsenal make. I think if we are going to go for midfielders, we might need to go for players around 40 million, 35 million. According to the financial situation at the club, we did make losses and so on. Everybody understands that. So I don't see Arsenal go for 110 million, pair. It's no, look, it's interesting. I would love to see such such deals for Arsenal, because for me, I'm really tired of Arsenal signing 20 million players and then they don't work out, 30 million players and then they don't work out. You better go for the real deal, the real talents. But the financial situation the club is in, unless Dangote buys, and like people like Charles Schwartz have already said, I don't think Kroenke is going to sell to Dangote, and Dangote might not be that serious about buying Arsenal at this moment. So I don't see such deals happening, but the rumors are there, and we have to actually deal with them as they come in. So that is basically what is happening in Arsenal, linked with Jordan Amavi, Mikel OYAZARBAL, as well as Mikel Moreno and Alexander Lacazette working on a deal away from us. Though I will talk about Hector Bellerin and his situation with Barcelona later in the day, when I'll expand more about Bellerin and Alexander Lacazette later in the day, and what I think about those two deals and where they should end. Because there still are no players, and I care about them. I wouldn't want to see Bellerin end up at Nottingham Forest, linked with Barcelona. Barcelona got a new president, and that's why the rumors are flying in and out. But I will talk about Hekeby today, later in the day. I'll be dropping Mikel Arteta's press conference reaction ahead of our game against Olympiacos in the round of 16. I'll be dropping that as well. I'll also be dropping the predicted lineup of the same game today. So a lot is coming up. I just hope nothing actually gets destabilized in this whole big situation of the country, because we are not in the best position. That's what you should know.